Have you ever wondered about the true cost of forbidden knowledge, especially when wielded against a powerful foe? Imagine holding a device that shows you distant events, yet twists every vision to serve its own dark master. The Palantir profoundly affected Steward Denethor by driving him to deep despair and, ultimately, to madness. This ancient seeing stone, under the influence of Dark Lord Sauron, systematically broke Denethor's spirit by showing him only visions of overwhelming defeat and hopelessness. Now, how could a mere stone achieve such a devastating effect? The Palantir stones are not simple crystal balls that lie outright. Instead, they transmit true images of distant places and events. However, their perception can be influenced by the dominant will looking into them, or by another powerful user communicating through them. Denethor possessed a strong mind and a proud spirit, which initially allowed him to resist Sauron's direct control. But Sauron was infinitely more powerful. He did not lie to Denethor through the stone. Instead, he carefully selected what Denethor would see, showing him the immense, seemingly endless armies of Mordor, the black Númenórean fleet sailing from Umbar, and the utter desolation spreading across the lands. Sauron made sure Denethor saw only the strength and inevitability of his enemy, never their weaknesses or the hope of the free peoples. Denethor, the last ruling steward of Gondor, was already burdened by the weight of defending a fading kingdom. He used the Minas Tirith Palantir in isolation, trying to gain intelligence against Sauron. Yet, this very act became his undoing. With every vision, the relentless pressure mounted. He saw the strength of Mordor growing, believing his efforts were futile and that victory was impossible. He witnessed the siege of Osgiliath and the coming darkness, all without context or countervailing hope. The constant exposure to Sauron's filtered truth, coupled with his own pride and the immense responsibility he carried, slowly eroded his resolve. His reliance on the stone, meant to give him an advantage, instead became a direct channel for psychological warfare waged by the Dark Lord himself. The Palantir of Minas Tirith was one of only a few such seeing stones remaining in Middle-earth, an artifact of immense power from ancient times. It was connected to other stones, including the one Sauron possessed in Barad-dûr. This connection meant that Sauron, through his vastly superior will, could dominate the communication, effectively projecting his chosen reality into Denethor's mind. And like Aragorn, who later used a Palantir with the rightful authority of a king and a powerful, uncorrupted will, Denethor used the stone as a steward, facing a foe whose power was far beyond his own. This difference in authority and spiritual strength made Denethor vulnerable to Sauron's specific type of manipulation. Ultimately, the Palantir became an instrument of Denethor's destruction, a sophisticated tool for psychological subjugation. It did not magically possess him, but rather it fed his fears and confirmed his worst anxieties, leading him to believe that all was lost. This constant exposure to Sauron's propaganda, showing only overwhelming might and certain doom, broke his spirit. He sacrificed his own son, Faramir, to what he saw as a hopeless battle, and tragically chose to immolate himself and his son, believing it was the only way to escape a future he perceived as utterly bleak. His story stands as a stark warning about the dangers of facing overwhelming darkness alone, and the seductive, yet destructive, power of knowledge when controlled by an enemy.